Welcome to the Bromley Adult Education College Digital Drop-In Podcast, getting you back to work with confidence.
Hello, I'm Jill Collier and welcome to episode 9 of the Digital Drop-In Podcast. Today I'm joined by Tricia Davy, who is a professional home economist. It's a little bit different this time, but I know Trish is passionate about healthy eating, and I thought it would be brilliant for her to come and talk to us today and share her knowledge. So, hello, Pat, or Trish.
Patricia, whatever you like, Jill, that's absolutely fine.
So, I'm rubbish at this myself. So, what are the benefits of healthy eating?
Well, at the end of the day, we all have to live. We don't live to eat. We eat to live. And understanding that is one of the things, when you're in the middle of a rubbish eating moment, that you have to understand. Your body reacts to whatever you put into it. And so if you put in absolute horrible things, it responds in the same way. So it's important to get it into your mind's eye, eat some good stuff. You can eat a little bit of bad stuff, but overall it needs to be good stuff.
Yeah, that's a really valid point, because that's something that a lot of people say, is it, do you eat to live or live to eat? And I think that's what's happening now, isn't it? With fast food and things, we just eat what we like the taste of, and it might not have all the nutrition in and everything else that we need.
Yeah, there's been a guideline around for some time called the Eat Well Guide, and it's set like a dinner plate to give you an idea of the balance of food that you should put into your body in a day.
Right.
And so, positively speaking, you should always eat at least 5 fruit and veg a day. Everybody knows that, but they can be any colour you like. They can be frozen, dried, canned, in a juice, or fresh.
Right.
So that doesn't sound so awesome when you think, oh my God, how am I going to eat 5?
Sure. So, obviously, when you're job searching, there's 2 things that spring to mind here. A is budget.
Yes.
We're going to be looking very carefully at what we're spending our money on. And 2 is getting ourselves into that right state of mind.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you can share with us some kind of little tips about what food we maybe should be eating, to give us that sort of mindset and healthy views.
Well, on that basis, the Eat Well plate that I've mentioned, which you can Google and look up at anywhere on any sort of internet site, reminds you that when you're eating food, it needs to be giving you particular things. So first of all, you need energy. The first thing to go in a diet, everybody says, is all the foods that give you energy. So the bread, potatoes, pasta. What I really want your listeners to do is to eat the right type of bread, pasta. So the brown breads, the cereals, ones with seeds in them, will give you energy to get you through that day, to get you through your tasks. So if you're on a job hunt and you've got to write CVs out and you've got to make phone calls, you don't end up sort of exhausted. You've got the energy that lifts you and takes you through the day. Right. And that's where the carbohydrates are important. And when you are low on budget or something like that, and diets, as I said, all tend to say, leave them out. They're the foods that pack the calories onto you, but they are essential for energy, but the right type. And the right
quantity, I presume. Yes.
Really important. We're talking here, and my hands are moving about. Yes. And one of the biggest guides for you is your hand. Your hand is a portion.
Yes.
So depending on your body size and width, if you eat a portion that will fit into your hand, that is a good size portion of rice or pasta. It's the correct size for your body.
Uncooked or cooked?
Well, if you think about a handful of uncooked pasta, when it is cooked, it's double its weight.
That's what I'm...
And this is the problem. People cook a pan of pasta, it's cheap, it's easy to use, it's good in our budget. But then suddenly we have this massive swelling in the pan and you think, must eat this. Not, I'll put some in the fridge and have it tomorrow with a different sauce. We feel compelled to eat it. So that the budget goes out the window, you use up your food items too quickly, and the energy you would have got from just the normal portion is wasted because now you're eating too many calories and you're not burning them off. Unless you're going out job hunting physically and on your foot, you know, from store to store. So the hand size goes for everything you eat in your food plate. It's your fruit and veg, handful of grapes, an orange is a handful, you know, so the portions pretty explicit to keep your body working properly. And when you over imbibe on those, you add additional weight that maybe you aren't burning up and using.
Yeah.
And that means to make you feel sluggish, be unhappy with yourself because of your image.
Yes.
And that's important when you're job hunting. You feel like you want to look good.
Yes.
So keeping yourself on the trim side. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be a size 8 or 6. You know, you can be a happy size 18, 20, but still be generally fit.
Yes.
So keeping the hand portion size for whatever you're eating is a really first good guideline.
And so is that a handful of each thing on your plate? So a handful of carbs, a handful of protein? I don't know what your...
Well, generally when you look at a plate, they're saying to you in a day you should eat at least 5 fruit and veg. We know that one, it's well advertised. You can have 3 to 4 portions of carbohydrate. Now that's, a sandwich is 2 slices.
Right.
So if you're munching away on a
So you can't double it up.
Nope.
You can't pile it.
But the good thing you can do is at least make that seeded bread or wholemeal bread rather than just white that's got no real true goodness in it. When you're looking at protein, that's your bodybuilder. And we all know that if you're trying to build muscle, that's what you see everybody eating. But actually, if you don't exercise it, then it turns to fat.
Yes.
It makes you doubly unhappy because you're no longer strong or growing, you're just got additional weight. And if you're in dairy, we're looking at the same there, 2 to 3 portions. That's a glass of milk. That could be a nice head of broccoli, by the way, because broccoli's got as much calcium in it as a glass of milk.
Has it?
It has indeed. So if you're thinking like I do, I'm dairy intolerant, I can't have a normal glass of milk anymore, but I can eat a head of broccoli and know I've got the same calcium to keep my bones and my structure strong.
That's really... I'm a vegan, so I never have
my
any...
My daughter's vegan.
Yeah.
So got little notes there about all these sorts of things. So that's absolutely important. Whatever your sway in life is, we're looking for you to be on that mission to get out, look for the jobs, feel creative, feel healthy, and for that you just need this balance of all these food items that are on the Eat Well plate. Say with fruit and veg, as many colours, you know, green peppers, red peppers, yellow, orange, all these colours give you different defence. So when you're on that job hunt, you're not weakened, you know, you can fight illness and disease because they're your defenders, as well as giving you fibre to keep your body regular. And all the other products that are on the Eat Well plate will back that up with keeping you strong and ready to go. The only thing that's missing on there, of course, when you look, is water.
Right.
So when you consider our body is, 75% water?
And the brain has got lots of water.
The brain, sloshing around in there.
I was shocked at how much water the brain consists of.
So we are very guilty of actually not drinking enough. And when we laughed and said, don't include your gin and tonic in that, we are looking at pure water. And, you know, and generally they do say you should have at least like 2 litres of water a day.
I know.
That is horrendous amount when you stand it in front of you.
Could it be sugar-free squash, or does it have to just be water?
Water would be better all the way round. If you're looking for a squash of any sort, please make sure if it says it's sugar-free, that means they've reduced the fruit amount in it actually.
Right, okay.
What you don't want to see is things like aspartame in there as substitutes, because they've got not a very good reputation.
Yeah.
So water's better. Spring water with fruit juice in it.
Right, okay.
You can have your fruit juices, but remember that pure juice has still got sugar in it, and not too good for your teeth.
No.
So if you've got any youngsters out there, any babies, the families that listen to your podcast, then it's really important to make sure they don't drink neat fruit juice. Just diluted.
I also heard it should be with a straw or something, so it bypasses the teeth. I don't know. That's what a dentist said.
Well, I suppose so. And that's where they've materialised. And now we're into paper straws, aren't we? And anything else but plastic.
Yes.
It's because we don't want that natural acid around the actual teeth. If you're going to do that, then either make sure it's diluted or make sure they rinse out with a little bit of cold water afterwards. Right. Whatever you do, don't brush your teeth straight after fruit juice.
Really?
Because the enamel is already soft at that stage.
Oh, okay.
So it's that dental mat. If you want that lovely smile for that interview, you know, and you open your lips, and there you are. You know, you've got a great smile. That says a lot. You know, across that moment, you're confident, you're happy.
Yeah.
And so that's a simple thing just to look out for on the personal hygiene, if you like.
Yes. So the water should be. Again, I understand sort of little and often rather than gulping a pint down, because it kind of goes through, doesn't it? Whereas you want your body to absorb
the tissue. All your body tissue and all your organs are all constituted of water, so you need to absorb it. So pace it, do a couple of small bottles of water, and then make sure you drink one through the morning, one through the afternoon. Get home and have one beside your bed. I think as you get older like me, we all tend to have a glass of water beside the bed.
Yes.
It's not to put your teeth into either. So, that's a bit of a hoop. But that water is essential. If you become dehydrated, quickly shows with your hair and your eyes and skin. And also you can't perform. If you're going out to an interview or you're trying to write, concentration levels are low.
Yes.
You really do find it difficult, and you may never be attributing it to being dehydrated.
No.
Just, I'm not well.
Yes.
And actually it's a simple thing like putting the water back in. I think you mentioned a bit earlier about a flower. If we water it, it's drooping. It slowly comes back to life. That's the same with our bodies. They will respond pretty quickly to getting rehydrated. So that's essential on your list. Clutch that bottle of water on that interview.
Yes.
Take it with you. Have a good slosh before you.
So how long do you think it does take to rehydrate the body if people have been sort of, not that we're always suffering from heat in this country, but if you are walking around job hunting, just one sort of half-litre bottle is adequate,
well, you should,
is it?
Definitely. Most people won't want to carry a big bottle. We're not carrying the little ones, aren't we?
Yes.
So if you've filled it up 2 or 3 times, that would be great. Make sure you do it closest to a nearby toilet.
Yes.
So you don't want to have to get up in the middle of your interview, of course.
No.
But the body can respond quite quickly to that. So that's up to us just to remember that it is worthwhile to drink it at whatever level. Get that water into your body, and pure water's best.
Right. Okay, and not the spring water, the fizzy?
Spring water's lovely,
Okay,
where we have youngsters, they like a bit sort of gas. You can drop some natural fruit into that, and make blitz it into a squash of its own.
Right.
Having control of what you're drinking is always the point. Or read your labels.
Yes.
We have a really good labels site, and on the Wheatwell guide they give you a little section of labels.
Right.
Look out for the red is a high level of something you don't want to be eating, like salt or fat or sugar.
Right.
And go to the green lines, which will give you a more mediocre level of those things to be taken into your body.
Right.
So if it's got red on it, look at it, think twice on the labelling, and get used to looking at your labels on your food when you're out shopping.
Yes.
And we talked about shopping, that eating is really important for your mental health. If you feel that, for instance, your self-image is not quite there, you may eat unnecessarily, but you still have to eat. So now we need to just look at, eating the right foods to give you the energy, get you through that day.
Yes.
The right amount, a nice mixture of fish, a little bit of lean meat, or all our wonderful beans, and lentils and nuts and things like that will give you massive sort of good stuff for your body. And going onto the internet and having a look at some of the recipe sites that we've got. Or even when I teach in my classes, we look at the supermarket's own magazines.
Right.
I pick up lots of really great recipes in there, and they have all the health breakdown on the recipe to tell you what it's made up of.
Is this a magazine that you pick up in the store, or you can do they publish them online?
They do publish them online, because
Brilliant.
I've picked them up before now and used the recipes, then pick them up again online.
Right.
So our internet site, fantastic. I use a site now which is actually closed down, which was the Children's Food Trust, but they've got a massive website still left of recipes called Let's Get Cooking.
Yes.
And you can access that free, and they have super recipes, which I've used over the years constantly.
So getting back to if you are job hunting, I guess the thing that springs to mind to me is brain food. I hear this term, I don't know what it means, but what sort of food or general ideas could you give for somebody that is on a budget but is needing this kind of brain food? Could you give a few tips of a meal, an example of a meal?
Okay, oh right, sky's the limit on that one.
Yeah, okay, or something.
The main thing is, say, maybe particularly before, and you're just working up to going out on interviews or looking for stuff, yes, you need to build the body line up. Most famous known one, of course, is omega-3, which is supposed to be in fish products, you know, and there's a few different opinions about that as to how much is stored, but canned fish, for instance, is a really good thing to have in a store cupboard. And a simple little dish is like, a lovely bit of sourdough toast or a seeded bread toasted, and mash some sardines up with some seasoning, and then spread it onto your hot toast, a couple of slices of tomato and a little bit of grilled cheese on top of it. Just super quick lunch thing to do, a brunch thing to do. And canned fish, have it in the cupboard. It's not particularly expensive.
And you can buy it when it's on offer, can't you? And things.
Always pick up, And the other thing with that is if you've got a buddy or a friend and you don't like the buy one get one freeze, the thing to do is get together and actually buy them between you. When the pasta says 2 for 3, buy it between you.
Yes.
So you both get the deal, but you get the products that you need as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
On the days when you're shopping, it's important. On some days when you're actually going out to do some work or go for interviews, you still need to keep yourself up to par with energy. So what you're doing, you need to eat some breakfast. So that's it. I always say it's the most important meal, and it is, but a lot of people don't eat breakfast.
No.
I have juice with turmeric and all sorts of things in it like that, which can help me. But for another person, a couple of nice slices of seeded toast would be really good. You could have normal things on it. It doesn't have to be anything ultra special. Marmite's great, with your B12 collection to boost you. But then you need the drink alongside it, so whether that's milk or water or juice.
Yes.
Take a bottle of water with you, and maybe a little tub of things like raisins, nuts, seeds that you can actually nibble.
Yes.
So when you're on a bus or on the train, feeling a bit nervous, a bit hungry, instead of reaching for a Mars bar or something that's got a lot of sugar, which will lift you absolutely, like euphorically, and then crash and burn.
Yes.
So that's where it's important. That's where those types of foods are not so useful when you're in that situation. You need to be nice and steady. If you're feeling a bit nervous, eat some nuts and some raisins and things, just keep your energy levels up, and little drink and get yourself through that moment of working or the interview or travelling to the interview can even be nerve-wracking.
I think that's actually a really good point you've mentioned there, which is being prepared, isn't it? Because this is it. We do it all the time. We feel hungry, and even if we know we can't afford it, we see an overpriced bar of chocolate at a station and we just buy it because...
Well, it's there, it's a moment. I've stood at, the supermarkets have got much better at not having all that stuff at the checkouts. Notice it's crept back in a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, supermarkets got a bit of a bad rep, but in fact it's down to us when we walk in through a store to make good choices. And you can have a really good ready-made meal. And if you're out there and you're living alone singly, you may not have the cookery skills.
No.
In which case, come to one of our classes. That would be really good to see you and get those skills going. But if you can read the labels and you can see that maybe it's got the right mixture of things in it for you, because you might have dietary needs, then you can pick up that ready meal on that day.
Yes.
But what would be nice is if you can actually enter into the making that meal, make a sauce, cook off something and compile it yourself, and know that you've got complete control of the content of that food, and it's all the right things to give you what you need to get your day off to a good start. So whether it's breakfast or lunch or coming home for an early meal, in the evening, just need to give it a little bit of thought. And the Eat Well plate does help you look and think, okay, I can have all of those things, but here's the amount I should have them in. So I don't feel sluggish, I don't feel overloaded with the wrong foods, too many carbs, too much fat, for instance, in a lot of the products. Lots of claims out there, we need fat inherently in your body to keep you protected, but as we get older we don't need as much.
No.
And we go for the low fat, low sugar. And unfortunately, if there's a low fat claim, there's probably loads of sugar in it.
Yes.
If there's a low sugar claim, there's probably loads of fat in it or salt, so being eagle-eyed about not putting into your body the wrong things because you're not taking a closer look at the labelling.
So for people that wish to Google this afterwards, me being one of them, if we just Google Eat Well plate, is that what we should... Because I think obviously there's specific websites, but we're never going to remember that. But Eat Well, if I was to Google Eat Well Guide or Eat Well plate, I can find this information.
They will come up, it's bound to come up with lots of references. There'll be the British Nutrition Foundation, they're fantastic.
Yes.
As mentioned, the Children's Food Trust, which doesn't exist anymore, but Let's Get Cooking Recipe Bank does. And all the supermarket pages, they've all got good information.
Yes.
We've just got to want to look at it.
Yes.
We've just got to see how important it is for us to get off on our day with the right start and the right balance. And overall, I would say, remember the hand size portion.
Yes.
Don't be overeating and therefore overspending.
Yes.
And get the water or the soft drinks into your body hopefully not the wrong soft drink. So I used to teach a class where all the girls came in the morning with the babies and came in with a sausage roll and a can of Coke.
Right. So
we made it a thing in the end that nobody came in the room with those items. You know, you could make a sausage roll yourself, but can of Coke definitely out the window.
No, that's
just
fine.
Just from the point of view of the content, but the water reigns supreme.
Right. And so just to finish, Trish, I know you are so good and your knowledge base is brilliant. Just so people are aware, if they did want to come on one of your classes, are you actually at the Bromley Adult Education Centres, or do you only teach out in the communities?
Right. For me personally at the moment, I'm teaching in community classes that Bromley Adult Education sponsor and put out into the community. Most of those are young women with children. Occasionally we have a couple of guys, have dads come and join us, which has been nice. We do have children occasionally with them. Yes. And the benefit is, I think, is they learn some skills. So I'm hot on the cooking skills. Yes. Because if you can't be safe with what you're doing, that lessens your confidence. Yes. You know. And then picking up lots of good recipe ideas, techniques, all sorts of things. And these are available, contact your local community family centre, the vision centres. Okay. And they run the classes.
Right, so it's community and family centres.
And we do, of course, here at Kentwood, at Kentwood Centre, run evening classes, which, are chargeable. Yes. But offer all sorts of different things. So get in touch, say hello, and, we see what we can be offered, to the community on that basis.
That's fantastic. Well, you've certainly given me food for thought.
That's my talk title, that is.
Is it? No, I do know it's too easy to slip into bad habits, and I know that myself. And so this is very motivational for me. So I really, really hope our listeners will also, find your valuable input, can help them as well with their sort of eating choices to get them sort of ready for the big wide world out there.
I'm sure they will, Jill. Yes. But, if in doubt, get in contact. We're happy to help.
That's fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much, Trish. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
For help with all your job searching needs, do visit one of our digital drop-in venues. On a Monday, we are open 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. at our Poveris Centre, and on a Tuesday, we are open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Kentwood Centre. In our sessions, we offer free use of computers for job searching, advice on creating a winning CV, plus lots of short training courses to gain skills in the digital world.
This podcast has been produced by Bromley Adult Education College. For full details of how we can support your return to work, visit our website www.baec.ac.uk and search for Digital Drop-In. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast to receive notifications of new episodes.